second, 1 second. All right. I shouldn't be muted anymore. Are we good? Is everything okay? We should be all right. Is everything good? There we go. Okay. What is going on, everybody? RogersBase here with my live reaction to One Piece manga chapter 1122. This is my first stream back since getting full access to the channel back. I know many of you are going to be very, very happy about this because as you can see, the stream is now in HD. It's horizontal. It's back to how it used to be. I saw lots of people complaining about those vertical streams, and honestly, for a time, I liked doing the vertical streams. But then when I was forced to only do the vertical streams, because I was locked out of the rest of my channel, I was like, you know what, I missed the old ones. So we're going back to the old ones for the time being. Obviously, if I'm out of town or something, I'll do a vertical one. But for the time being, we're back to normal. We got the good microphone. We got everything else, even though I was muted before I started the stream. We got everything else all set up. So welcome, 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 everybody. I'm very excited to read this chapter. I hope you're all having a lovely morning. And what you couldn't hear me saying while I was muted in the first portion of the stream right before I went live, unfortunately, my allergies are acting up like crazy. I have my Gear 5, Luffy tissue box over here because I've been blowing my nose like a man, dude. Everything has been dusty in LA. Pollen has been everywhere. I've been hot and my temperature has been fluctuating all over the place. It's just miserable. It's miserable. I cannot remember the last, well, I can remember actually, the last time that my allergies were this bad in LA, and it was like when I first moved here. That first year when I first moved here, my allergies were miserable, but this year, same thing all over again. Shout out, by the way, to Christoph, becoming a member right at the beginning of the stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Roger, make sure that you are drinking lots of water. I got you. I got a full thing of water over here. I got my coffee. I'm ready to roll, all right? I am ready to roll. So without any further ado, One Piece 1122. Shout out, by the way, to Lucky for becoming a member as well. I do think it is crazy that the second that I put my stream horizontal again, everyone's like, membership, membership, membership before we even start the stream. So clearly, you guys have been waiting for it. All right. Oh, this is cool, actually. Wait a minute. Chapter 1122. The time is right. Cover request. Redraw of the artwork of Smoker that a boy from the Aichi prefecture submitted 22 years ago. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is, I know this from the second I'm seeing it. Also, it's pretty clear when you get the little puff of Hiro Aka right to the side. Horikoshi, years and years and years ago, did a little submission for the SBS with a drawing of Smoker prior to actually starting My Hero Academia. And as many of you know, My Hero Academia is ending this weekend. Officially, the final chapter gets uploaded today. I probably won't be reading it on stream. I kind of fell off My Hero a while ago. I caught up to a bunch of stuff off stream and then things just got progressively worse and worse. For me, personally, in my opinion, I'm clarifying that. But this is still very nice and very sweet of him to do this. And I still say, to this day, that Horikoshi is the best artist currently working in Jump. Not that My Hero is the best series, obviously, but that in terms of actual art, he's goated. Horikoshi's the best one. So I'm looking forward to whatever Horikoshi's going to do next, but I will say this, okay? Horikoshi, please, for your next series, get a writer. Get a writer. Do what like the Food Wars people do. Do what Death Note does. Get a writer. Get someone who can write to the level of your art, and then you're gravy. Because I'll be there. For whatever your new series is, I'm going to be there. Hopefully, it's just not a sequel to My Hero Academia. And if you get a writer, things are going to be good. All right. Without any further ado, let's get right into this One Piece chapter. Very cute little cover page right there. Okay. A pirate is going to control the world. Now, wait a second. Do you realize what you're saying, Vegapunk? We're going to sink into the ocean? Do something, Navy. So again, more reactions around the world. Man, I feel like how many of these chapters have opened with reactions of no-name pirates all over the place? Man, oh man. All right. The greatest genius in the world just proved it. We got to get to it. The One Piece does exist. Okay. Pirates are going to rule the world. And that's why the world sank under the waves, huh? Woo! I'm assuming that's an impel down. You can see the chains and everything and the clanking. Your days are numbered, world government. Shout out, by the way, to Shushant coming through with the membership. Nakama, greatly appreciate that. Gifting memberships. Thank you very, very much. I'll make sure to shout out everybody who's becoming a member after all this is done. Greatly appreciate it, Shushant. Thank you. All right, so we're back in Impel Down again, and they're saying, why are you playing it for them? All the transponder snails in the prison activated on their own. There's no way to stop this. And you got the other prisoners being like, your days are numbered, world government. How can this be happening? What have you done, Vegapunk? You got Momonga and Kobe. Luffy, I have to. What do you have to do? King of the Pirates. Wealth, fame, power. You'd have to achieve it all. Don't tell me you're after the One Piece and you get the happy little pre-time skip, smiling Luffy. Very, very nice. Luffy, I have to stop your dream from being realized. It's not going to happen, Kobe. But we love you, and we're excited for you to take over the Marines eventually, but you're not going to stop Luffy, and you're goofy for thinking you will. Okay, here's Buggy. The world is mine, you idiots. Who said I wanted such a thing? Huh? Chairman Buggy. The world is ours. Okay, right? Chairman Buggy, we'll follow you to the depths of hell. He knows how to get his people riled up in the Cross Guild. Everyone's all excited for Buggy. Meanwhile, Crocodile and Mihawk are behind him. Croc is like, sit. Yes, sir. Buggy. Taking orders still from Crocodile. Very cool. All right, what's the plan, Teach? You know, we could kill him right now. Oh, so we're jumping back to Devon and Caribou and Augur. Okay. Who can we kill right now? Caribou? Master Teach, I promise. What I have to share will delight you. I honestly thought they had already left. I'm surprised we're seeing them now. Bring him to me. If what he has to say doesn't blow me away, then trust will blow him away. Okay, Teach. That is simply the truth. I get why they're showing these specific reaction shots now too, considering how the last chapter ended with that awesome double-page spread of all the Yonko and the other major players of the story. All right, that is simply the truth. Joy Boy is what, Vegapunk? Joy Boy is his. Meanwhile, you got Emeth over here, getting spiked between, it looks like, completely in shadow. The rest of them are screaming, Iron Giant! And you got the Den Den Mushi getting knocked out, it looks like, the little X's in his eyes. And then the explosion of the back of the Den Den Mushi. Poor little guy. He tried his best. He went through, he did everything. Now you can rest, little Den Den Mushi. We got the Thousand Sunny flying in the sky as well. It's that horse Gramps again. Come on, do something, Zoro. And you got Zoro there, Venus Joro, Usopp with his Gear 5 eyes popping out with Chopper. Nami still screaming. I'm sorry, Joy Boy. What's wrong, Emeth? They're all screaming, Giant Robo! I wanted to apologize. Huh? Deep down, I knew you couldn't still be alive. Huh? Are you confusing me with somebody else? You look so much like him that it brings back the warm feelings that I had that day. Saturn's still healing up, still completely messed up from that last attack. I'm sorry, Joy Boy. Oh, awesome shot on the bottom as well. Very cool double-page spread of the Sandworm and the Boar and Saturn and the Sunny flying through the sky with Venus Juro running down as well in the giant Elbaf ship. Very, very cool shot. The scale of that shot on the bottom of page 8 is lovely. Absolutely lovely. I'm sorry that I couldn't make you king. Look out for the earthworm monster. We can't escape. This thing is going to sink us. King. So what's your name? I am Monkey D. Luffy, the man who will become the king of the pirates. Huh? And he just responds D, and it looks like he's untying like a rope or something. And the robot's laughing. Hey, Luffy? What, is he Conqueror's Haki or something? What's going on here? Luffy, Conqueror's Haki. Thank you for letting me hear that old familiar rhythm. What the heck is this? Don't die, okay? Simply, I won't let you die. And then meanwhile, you get this like Conqueror's Haki explosion coming out of the robot. Was it in the rope? He just like unties a rope and then all of a sudden, the Haki's flying all over the place? Okay. I mean, this is like knocking out everybody. This is like an explosion of Haki. Everybody on the ship is getting knocked out, all the vice admirals. Such powerful Haki. Who could be doing this? Yo! It blew all of the Gorosei into their normal forms again? Whoa. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. On the next page, you see the Gorosei blown into their normal forms from the haki, and then they're already back in the throne room in Mary Geoise. What the heck is happening here? What is this? It turns them into normal, it negates devil fruit powers? Is that what's going on here? Or is it just that it's negating the devil powers? It's that negating like the Gorosei's powers, because Doll seems to still be in the kid form when she's talking there. What is this? And you can see all the, all the Gorosei are huffing and puffing. The one that's just left in the, one of them was waiting for him. He said, I'm not coming. After he got blown away, he said, I'm not coming back to Egghead. I'm sitting back in the throne room. And you get all the other ones there too, huffing and puffing. Well, hold on. Saturn's not there though. Wait a minute. Saturn got turned into his other form, but I don't see Saturn in the room. Meanwhile, Emu is screaming, falling to his knees. Oh, great Emu. And he's huffing and puffing. Joy Boy, and his eyes are looking wild, open up all the way, shaken up by this. Meanwhile, the Thousand Sunnies landing in the water. Luffy's like, you guys, you're all right. Luffy, where did the monsters go? I don't know. They're gone, I guess. Well, what could this mean? A robot with haki? How does haki make people disappear? I'm so glad that we made it down, but Nami, are you all right? I'm fine. But Atlas and Edison, what is happening here? Oh, man. Oh, no, we're not. I turned the page. I thought we were finally going to see Joy Boy. It's just a silhouette. So Saturn is still there on Egghead. He's huffing in front of the robot. Remember, Emmett, only when the time is right. Time is right, what? I've tied a knot of the greatest haki and locked it inside your body. You get the little robot going, wow. You're going to keep on living long after I'm dead. And there will come a day where I can't help you anymore. Also, very interesting, we're getting confirmation right here, Joy Boy was not a giant. I guess that's the big thing to take from this, because you could see his scale. You're going on to keep on living long after I'm dead. There will come a day when I can't help you anymore. And when your life is in danger or someone else is in danger who you want to protect, that's when the time is right. So go ahead and untie that knot. When the time is right, you'll save me. That's right, I'll save you all the way from the past, just like I always do, don't I? And you can see Emmett going, I'm glad, thank you. Then it's like you're here with me, even after you're dead. Hey, we're talking about a long time in the future, right? And he goes, yeah, a long, long time. I hope I don't get lonely, though. And the little robot's laughing again as he finally shuts off. Wow, to be continued. One Piece manga chapter 1122 end. Interesting. What is he sitting on? Is that like meant to be a poneglyph or something? The Joy Boy? Because the other thing is in silhouette. I'm assuming it's like a real poneglyph or something, or what is he sitting on? I think the biggest thing out of this is that Joy Boy's not a giant. I'm honestly shocked by that. Obviously, yeah, he's got the straw hat, but that's like not surprising. We knew that was going to be the case. Like, you know, that's not some shock. Like, I'm not amazed by the fact he has a straw hat, but I am amazed by the fact that he's seemingly normal sized. I really truly expected that he was going to have what's it called? That he was going to be a giant. The only thing I'm wondering is on this little page on the bottom, obviously this is just in silhouette, but in this little page on the bottom, does he have a peg leg? This is on page, the very last page of the chapter, in the image where you're seeing Emmett there, happy with the little musical notes around him, when he said, I'm going to save you from the past like I always do. You see one of his legs, but the other leg seems to be gone. It looks like a peg leg, which is kind of cool. I'm wondering if he's going to be the peg leg eye patch character that Oda's been teasing, where he said, once you see this character, we're going to be at the end of the story. Also, his other arm looks kind of messed up too. You could see one hand fully formed, and the other hand's got like a claw on it, it looks like. It just looks like a little stick with two fingers coming out of it. I'm going to save you from the past like I always do. Dude, okay. Wow. I do wish we would have seen him here, though. That would have been an awesome reveal. So I think we're done, then, at this point. This is the end of Egghead. If the Gorosei have all left, they're back in the throne room. The Thousand Sunny is now joined with the Elbaf ship, and the only one left standing is Saturn, and it's Saturn and Emmett at the end. We're out of here. This seems like this is the end. It is also crazy that it is 2024. We are in August 2024, and we are still getting major character silhouettes. We are in the final saga, and we're still getting silhouettes of characters. Man. Goes to show we still got quite a bit left, though. Very cool. Yeah, I'm assuming that he's sitting on a poneglyph is what that image is right there. That you got him sort of sitting on a poneglyph, maybe the real poneglyph or something, when he's talking to Emmett. Also interesting that seemingly you can imbue haki to be saved for later. Have we ever really seen that? I mean, the only thing that I could think of is maybe like people imbuing their haki into objects like swords, like the black blades or things like that. But this is, I mean, this is very bizarre. That you could just tie a rope with your haki and give it to somebody else. Like, that's going to open up a whole wave of possibilities. If Luffy can, like, put his haki into weapons that he could then give to the other Straw Hats. That is very bizarre. That's the wind knot from Witheria? The dials from Skypiea? Or are the dials haki, though? Is that technically done via haki? The Weather Island definitely had rope magic, though. But, hold on, I have to look this up. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't even remember that at all. Witheria rope magic. I don't remember this in the slightest. Uses a rope in conjunction with her climb attack technique. Oh, the wind knot. Untying the knot results in a light breeze. And the second one reveals a strong wind. And the knots can be grown with other knots in a special type of garden. But this was weather stuff. This wasn't imbuing these knots in haki. Uses it in conjunction with her climate attack to perform a technique of an oncoming cyclone. Right. Yeah, but this isn't... I thought I missed something for a second. The way the chat was talking about wind knots and Witheria, I thought I missed something with like haki being imbued in there. Okay, so I'm not. Thankfully, I'm not, which is good. Okay. Interesting stuff here, man. Okay, that also felt like a really quick chapter. Also, are we on break after this? Well, let me see this. Calendar. I'm not seeing it. Let me pull this up over here. It's not telling me. You go back. Pull this up. Okay. Excuse me. Oh no, I'm still here on the 18th. That's good. That's Pokemon Worlds. That's Pokemon Worlds Week and Roll. That's good because I'm not going to Pokemon Worlds. I'll be here doing co-streams. So this actually works out great. You guys will see me on the 18th back to a normal stream. Very, very good. I love to see that. Jump itself, by the way, is what's going on break. Oh, cool. Okay, good to know. The whole magazine is on break, I believe. I do believe that Joy Boy is sitting on the One Piece that has the full tail that Roger laughed about. You think that's the actual One Piece? I just assumed it's the real poneglyph. It could be the One Piece. That would be interesting. You're not going to Pokemon Worlds this year? I'm shocked. Well, because it was in Hawaii, and I've been traveling a lot. I've been traveling too much, and I'm going to Hawaii for a wedding the next month, and then I'm potentially going to be going out of the country at the end of September. I'm going to New York for a wedding, literally the weekend right after, and then I'm going to another wedding in Las Vegas. It was too much travel. Between Evo and everything else that's been happening, I couldn't justify going to Worlds proper. But I will be doing co-streams of Pokemon Worlds over on Twitch, so look forward to that. He hates Pokemon now. I definitely don't. I promise I don't. Yeah, Jump itself is on break. Okay. Yeah, overall, I mean, this is a pretty good chapter. This is pretty good. It felt short to me, though. I don't know if it necessarily was, but it felt short. It felt like not really a lot happened. We got a couple little reaction scenes from the other characters, but realistically, like the second half of the chapter is where we got anything. And it was like the tying of the knot, the haki, Emu falling to the ground, and the first look at Joy Boy, which obviously is all important enough. But I wish we would have just gotten a little more of each of those things. I feel like there wasn't really anything in this one to like scream over. There was nothing too shocking in this one. Other than, like I said, I think the big shocking thing to me is that Joy Boy's not a giant and seemingly has a peg leg. That is shocking to me. The Straw Hat wasn't surprising. That I think we all expected. And Emmett, like, I think this final attack from Emmett, too, with the untying of the haki and turning all the Gorosei back into the normal forms, I am wondering what's going on there. Because, again, on that panel where you see the Gorosei flying backwards, transformed out of the devil forms, and back into their normal forms, it seemingly doesn't affect Dahl on the ship and some of the other vice admirals. So, like, does it only affect people who are bad? Or are they actually not devil fruit users? Are they actually demons? And the haki is, like, blowing away their powers. Also, this haki must be different from Luffy's haki, because Luffy obviously had a bunch of Conqueror's haki during this and it didn't blow them back. Or this haki just happened to be stronger than Luffy's, which is interesting. I'm honestly surprised, though, we didn't see... excuse me. I'm sorry, everybody. I told you my allergies are bad. I'm sorry that we didn't see Emu's face in this one as well. I mentioned at the very beginning of Egghead Island that I thought the finale of Egghead would be after the conclusion of everything that happens, Emu looking in the newspaper or something, or getting the news from the Gorosei, falling to the ground surprised, and that's when we would get the reveal of his face. So the fact his face didn't get revealed here is also very interesting to me. I really truly thought we were going to get the reveal of his face. So that's a little bit of a bummer too. To get double silhouettes of both Joy Boy and Emu, you could have given us something. But the untying of the knot with the haki is genuinely cool. I could see like a bunch of cool things happening with that in terms of imbuing weapons with haki and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Otherwise, it was a pretty good chapter though. Yeah. Pretty good chapter. Okay. Well, I want to see what James did for this chapter for the thumbnail before I get into super chats and theories and things like that. So let me open this up. Let me see. Open this up. Google Chrome. Here we go. Jump issue cover for artist notes. What is this? Wait, what is this? I'm going to pull this up on the screen real quick. Hold on. Here you go. So, James left some artist notes, and he wrote, Luffy pushing down Deku on the Jump cover of his finale issue is genuinely so funny. And then he links me to the actual cover of Jump, where you see him knocking him out of the way. That is kind of funny that this is the conclusion of My Hero Academia, and you just got Luffy pushing him away. This is really nice. I like that you did this in color with the little straw hat sitting on top. Oh, this is really cute. It looks like a crayon drawing. I like this. With happy little Emmett. Very cute. Yeah, I love the colors on this one. The light blue. It actually kind of matches my shirt, doesn't it? The light blue and the sun sticking out. Very nice. Yeah, it's got like a crayon feel to it. Very, very cute. Man, if this is the conclusion of Egghead Island, that really would be a cute little one to end it with. Regular James W. James never misses. Peak art. Man, I'm telling you, his stuff is always great. And this is a really cute way to sort of like change it up from what you normally do with the thumbnails, James. I really like this one. I think doing it in crayon adds to sort of like the discovery aspect of it, right? The childlike innocence of the chapter, because we still don't know what Emu looks like and what Joy Boy looks like, and we're still imagining things, and Emmett is smiling, thinking back to his old friend. Very, very cute. Yeah. Very cute. Well done, James. Very well done. Here, let's pull this up and see some super chats. Actually, real quick, what I'll do is this. I'll pull the super chats over here so I could read them. And then, here we go. Pull this on over here. Then I'll pop this back up so you guys can see it on the screen. Let's go to dashboard. Here we go. Recent events. Why doesn't it show me all this? It's kind of annoying. Here, I guess I could just look on here. Viewer activity. Here we go. Viewer activity. Viewer activity. Okay. And I'll open this back up. Did somebody mention the peg leg yet? Yep. People mentioned the peg leg earlier. We talked about that earlier. Okay. Let's see this. First off, I want to give a thank you to all of the members that joined at the beginning of the stream. We got Mika, Eto Mikasa, Christoph, Lucky98, Vanitas Manga Reviews, Exile, Shushant, who gifted 5 memberships, Austin Smith, Das Poof, who re-upped his membership for 71 months, Asaf Heyman, Sylvan. Thank you to all of you for becoming members. Nakama, thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. All right, let's read some of these super chats. DJ said, I love you, Roger. Hope your day is going well. Thank you very much. We got Soba Mask, excuse me, saying, I can't believe Joy Boy is wearing a straw hat. Again, not a huge surprise to me, but that's cool that people were excited about that. Mike Moore donated $10 and said, after everything we know with Emmett, do you have any thoughts on why he attacked 200 years ago? The only other thing going on from 200 years was a ship that fell from the sky, St. Bliss. Maybe that was the death of Joy Boy. It was 200 years ago. Maybe that was his death and that Emmett was pissed off and then he attacked at that point. Maybe. That's my only other assumption, right? Because Emmett very clearly loved Joy Boy from everything that we saw in this chapter. We get that little bit of him, you know, with the little happy eyes at the ending and talking to him and saying to Luffy that it made him happy that Luffy even looked somewhat like him. So that was kind of cool as well. But I'm assuming maybe it was like the death of Joy Boy. I don't know. I'm not really sure. That's my only assumption, though. Sylvan said, think about how strong Joy Boy was, that his haki, 800 years in the future, still brings Imu and the Gorosei to their knees across the world and kicks the elders across the world. How the heck did they beat him? It must have been betrayal. We had a whole discussion about how potentially we thought that Joy Boy, as the son, was betrayed by the other Gorosei, which were his old crewmates, and that they're all named after the planets, which obviously revolve around the sun. I think we talked about that in detail during one of the streams a while ago. That would be genuinely very cool if that ended up being the case. So it could have been betrayal. I will clarify, though, I don't think the haki brought Imu to his knees. I think Imu was brought to his knees by the shock of the Gorosei being sent back and essentially the plan getting messed up. I don't think, at least how I read it, I didn't read it that the haki knocked Imu to his knees from across the country. If anything, it looks like it just turned the Gorosei back into the normal forms, and then they teleported and went back to Mary Geoise. I could be wrong, but I think he just dropped to his knees because of shock. I don't think that had anything to do with his haki. Yeah. James said, these strong hats are so durable. Are they infused with haki? Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, but I don't necessarily think that it was the haki that brought Imu to his knees. I think more than anything else, it was the, what's it called? The shock of the Gorosei being sent back and transformed by the haki. Still in all, the haki still managed to knock the Gorosei into their normal forms, so it's still very impressive 800 years later. Yeah. Zaro Activist says, if Imu has an attendant, more people know about him than we thought. Also, we see Mars was already in the throne room waiting. Yeah, we touched on that a little bit during the actual chapter. And the attendant we've actually seen before, right? We saw that attendant in, what was the chapter where you see Imu in the flower room and someone's going to go talk to him with the butterflies initially? So I don't even think that's the first appearance of the attendant. I think we've seen that attendant before. Yeah. Imu was freaked. He definitely was freaked out by all this. Agreed. Asoba Mask donated and said, what if haki, since it's a person's presence, causes a strong wind, and that wind equals willpower, which is why it can combat the sea and the rope? I don't fully grasp what we're trying to say, but if you're trying to say that, well, let me read this again. What if haki, as a person's presence, causes a strong wind, and that wind equals willpower and has always been shown as wind? Has it, though? It's been shown as lightning more than it has as wind. You don't really see it as wind. It can be stored in the rope like the Witheria wind ropes. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't really particularly care one way or the other. I mean, that would be cool, but I mean, normally we don't see haki as a wind blast. We normally see it as lightning, you know, which I mean, lightning comes from storms and wind and maybe, I don't know, but we've seen wind powers from Dragon before. Though I guess that'd be interesting if like Dragon didn't have a devil fruit and just in actuality had crazy strong haki that could create storms. After all, the D brings upon a storm. We've heard that before. I mean, maybe. I'm not going to write off what you said entirely. Maybe there is some type of connection between the wind and the haki. Maybe. Maybe. I think the main concept is just sealing something in the rope. Right. And that goes back to like the Witheria weather thing. But the idea of sealing haki in a rope is really interesting to me. That you can do that. But I'm assuming it's not just a rope. I'm assuming you could seal haki into other stuff. Like I said, the idea of sealing haki into something leads me to believe that that's kind of like explanation behind black blades and a lot of this other stuff, right? When the user is so strong that they're able to actually imbue them permanently with their armament haki, it's kind of like the same type of thing. It's also a little bit like Nen powers. Little bit. Yeah, where you could imbue things with Nen. That's true, a little bit. A little bit. Yeah. Lightning comes from clashing or strong displays. Wind equals willpower that you can deal into the rope. Again, maybe. I'm not fully sold, but that'd be cool. Poof said, I do wonder if the haki rope is something that only people with the Nika fruit can learn to do. That not everybody can actually imbue their haki. Maybe. That could also be the case too. This is the first time we're seeing it in the story. That could be the case. Maybe Luffy learns how to do this eventually and stores his haki for somebody else. That'd be kind of cool. Joker's Fallen One donated and said, Roger, I do have to ask you, what is the Egghead incident? After all, Saturn is still there, York, the Mother Flame. Could there be one more thing? I feel like Oda is holding on to one more thing to reveal as well. The one more thing of Egghead. I mean, we're clearly leaving now, though. The Sunny is off with the Elbaf ship, you know. We've got the Gorosei, for the most part, are dealt with. Saturn's the only one there. Emmett has already, you know, done his big attack. All the Vegapunks are dead other than Lilith and York. Yeah, I don't know. The only other thing I could think of is like the full-on destruction of Egghead, right? I mean, I still really thought that at the end of Egghead, we would see Kuma do something. I really thought Kuma would do one last blast and save everybody. And that could still happen, technically, but this pretty definitively felt like this was the end of the arc. But I don't know. I think more than anything, the incident was kind of the revealing to the world the truth about everything. The Void Century and Goldie Roger and Roger having the Will of D and seeing all the different reactions from everybody else and wiping out the Gorosei. And I mean, there's been a lot that happened on Egghead. So I kind of feel like the incident could have just been the speech from Vegapunk, in addition to everything else that's already happened with Kizaru and stuff. Yeah, but at this point, I don't really know if Kuma's going to do anything, so yeah. I think you're right, Roger. The Egghead incident was Vegapunk's message to the world. Yeah, maybe. Do you think that Joy Boy actually might have died 200 years ago? Because if so, he would have been like 600 years old. I mean, we know the other Gorosei are super duper old. So it could have been something like that. Maybe that's what set Emmett off. Or maybe it was like the anniversary of Joy Boy's death or something. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what could have set him off. Yeah. I do feel like the incident was the summation of Vegapunk dying, his speech, their Buster Call, and then the Gorosei failing. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It was just kind of everything put together. By the way, thank you to Mist, Stefan Dog, and Jeskinator all coming through with memberships. Nakama, appreciate you guys. Saying 50 months, Nakama, came in a bit late, but did you talk about the similarity of the haki rope to the wind ropes in Witheria? We did. Yes, we did indeed. I think the Straw Hat and Mary Geoise was Emmett's, and that has Joy Boy's haki, and that was frozen in it. Oh, that's an interesting take. That actually the Straw Hat was Emmett's Straw Hat, and that maybe it was stored in Mary Geoise when Emmett attacked Mary Geoise. I actually really like that idea. If we know that Joy Boy wasn't a giant now, based on what we saw at the end of the chapter, yeah, maybe the Straw Hat is imbued with haki, and maybe it was Emmett's. That's actually a really good idea. I like that a lot. And that would also explain how it got there, considering Emmett attacked all those years ago. So if his straw hat was left over, they decided to freeze it. That's actually interesting. That's very interesting. Huh. What was the fate of Lilith, by the way? Maybe she'll become a pirate? Well, Lilith is still with them, I think. So my assumption is still be there for a while. She'll be there for a while. She'll be with them. Shout out, by the way, to Mikasa's side piece and Joker's Fallen One for becoming members as well. Mikasa's side piece saying this was such a W birthday present from Oda, but for real, the chapter was pretty damn good and shows that Joy Boy was quite the force in his time. Happy birthday to you, Mikasa's side piece. Hope you're having a lovely day. I'm glad you got a good chapter on your birthday. Happy to hear that. Also, we're getting a lot of messages from Jimmy saying, I think that Joy Boy is on the pillars from Zoe. I think he's on the pillars from Zoe. Let me go back and look. Let's see. Let me see. We also got a donation from Shushant, who also gifted memberships earlier during the stream, too. Thank you very much. Saying, did Emu sense Joy Boy's haki and remember about the past? Almost something like PTSD. Maybe. I mean, I really don't think the haki blast had anything to do with bringing Emu to his knees. I don't think there was a correlation there. I could be wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong about that, but that's not how I read that scene at all. I really think it was just more the shock of everything else, because the haki blast doesn't look like it's happening in Mary Geoise. I think he's just shocked that they were blown back, because the haki lightning isn't really there in Mary Geoise. You see the summoning pool and them coming out of it, but the haki blast is on Egghead proper. But maybe. I mean, it could be something, yeah, that like Emu remembered his previous experience with Joy Boy and that's what brought him to his knees. Sure. Maybe. Yeah. Come on, Roger, be intelligent. That's absolutely what happened. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's the case. Though I do think saying be intelligent is kind of stupid because it's just a matter of like reading the chapter one way or the other. Whenever it is funny that when I have a headcanon, people get angry at me. But when someone in the chat has a headcanon and I disagree with it, then all of a sudden I'm stupid. Interesting how that works. Very weird. Yeah. Hollow Avarice said, this is the biggest shock of the whole arc. It's at the very least to me that Kuma made it out alive. Yeah, I'm also very shocked that Kuma made it out alive and that Kuma really didn't have a moment at the end of all of this. I really, truly believed that Kuma would die at the end of all of this, potentially saving them and slapping them away to Elbaf. And that didn't end up happening, which I think is probably one of the biggest surprises of Egghead. But again, Egghead still may not be over yet. We still might have more. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. It's not that you're stupid, Roger. It's just that Emu said Joy Boy, so it indicates that's what shocked Emu. But again, he was shocked. He's getting all this information from there. Again, it's a semantic thing. I don't particularly care to argue this. It's not interesting enough for me to be like dying on this hill, whether it was the haki that brought him to his knees or the shock of the attack. Either way, Joy Boy being sensed brought him to his knees. Fine. So whether it's haki or whatever, that's fine. But the actual like detail of what it was is completely uninteresting to me. Sylvan donated and said, do you think that Luffy has infused his haki by accident already? Kind of like Joy Boy, maybe in Fishman Island, Wano, Whole Cake, any guesses? Do you think Luffy has infused his haki by accident already? I'm trying to think of what he would have infused his haki in accidentally in all the arcs that have already happened. I mean, there's not really anything that he could have. I mean, that would have been something that we would have seen on the panel. What do you think he would have infused his haki in? I'm curious. Any ideas? Because I'm trying to... what would he have... even if it was accidentally. Maybe just his straw hat? I mean, who's to say his straw hat doesn't already have... This is going to be a wild thing. Who's to say his straw hat doesn't already have Shanks' haki imbued in it? Like, that would be kind of wild. If somehow, some way, the giant straw hat that's in Mary Geoise, right, is infused with haki, who's to say that Luffy's straw hat isn't infused with haki in some way? And that maybe Shanks has been looking over him this whole time. I don't know. Either Roger's haki or Shanks' haki or whatever. I don't know. And Clack said, I'm going to be honest, I don't think you can infuse haki by accident. Yeah, I think you have to purposely do it as well. I don't think it's but I would be interested in that idea. I mean, Luffy always kind of goofballs his way into doing other stuff. So, I mean, if he accidentally infused it in something, I wouldn't throw that away. I think it could have possibly happened, but again, I don't necessarily know if that's the case. Did you notice what was on Emmett's arm in the flashback? Look at his wrist. Here, let me take this down so I could see it in full display real quick on my other panel. Do you see what's on his wrist? You guys talking about like the bracelet with the X on it? That's on the last panel? I'm not really sure what that's meant to represent. The X mark? I mean, other than just like the X mark of the Nakama, you know. But I think that's just meant to be like a gauntlet or something. I don't think that's... I mean, that would be cool if somehow, some way, through the spirit of Joy Boy, that's when they all connected and became... I mean, that'd be kind of neat. That would be kind of neat if that was actually meant to be a reference to the end of Alabasta and the Straw Hats there, and that somehow, like, the will of Emmett and Joy Boy and the rest of them carried on subconsciously through their own minds, and when they put the Nakama X mark, it was actually a tie to way back in the day. That would be kind of cool, actually. I would like that. I don't necessarily think that's what that was, but I do think that's pretty cool. That would be really cool, actually. The history is kind of cyclical. Yeah, neat little callback. Asef also said, I get the pain body vibes from the Gorosei. Oh, that they're all basically connected to Imu? And David Ortiz said, I also think the Hockey Blast shows that Imu and Gorosei are connected. So you guys basically think that like they are all branch-offs of Imu? And that when they got blown back and turned into their normal forms, that that's what brought Imu to his knees? That's an interesting take. Yeah, that's interesting. Who else thought of the X in Alabasta when they read that? I mean, that is really cool. I didn't even notice that when I was reading the chapter for the first time. That is genuinely very cool. Let me move the reading direction here as well. Hold on. So I get full page spreads. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else in this chapter worth discussing or theorizing. I feel like we pretty much touched on everything. Yeah. Did we mention the peg leg? We did. We did. Yeah. I do wonder if he has an eye patch, though. Because remember that whole thing that Oda said is that once you get the character with the eye patch, we know we're at the end of the story. So I'm almost wondering if he... Because he also looks... Not only does it look like he has a peg leg, he also looks like he has an arm with a claw hand. His other hand doesn't really look like a hand. It looks like it's got this little, like, wrench on the end of it. So maybe he's got a peg leg and a messed up arm and an eye patch. That'd be cool. It's almost like a hook hand. Well, it's not quite a hook. It's not like a crocodile hand. It's like a... It looks like a wrench or something. Yeah. It looks like his whole right side is messed up, essentially. Yeah, exactly. His hand, his arm, his leg... It's cool. Yeah, I'll be completely honest, though. The one thing that kind of makes me go about this chapter is I do wish we would have gotten one of the reveals. I think after everything that we did in Egghead and like all the discussions and all the reaction chapters and everything that we got, I do wish we would have seen either Joy Boy or Imu. I think that would have been a nice way to wrap all this up. So it's just kind of a shame to see these two major characters still in silhouette at the end of everything. I wish we would have seen something, but that's just my own personal gripe. Obviously, the story is still interesting enough, so I'm excited to see where it's going to go. But I do wish we would have seen one of the two of them finally out of silhouette. It's been long enough, I feel like, at this point. Asaf donated and said, maybe Joy Boy gave up his body parts to put haki into items, and that Shanks made it appear like he lost an arm, but that's just the same price as Joy Boy? No way. I mean... No. Shanks' arm was actually bitten by the Sea King. I think that would be very silly if that did not end up being the case. And that Shanks... I mean, it could very much be a parallel narratively between Joy Boy and stuff, that he lost his arm. But I don't think I don't think Shanks didn't actually lose his arm and instead like infused haki or something. He definitely lost his arm to save Luffy. So he was giving something up when he lost his arm, but I wouldn't look into that like him infusing haki in the last minute when he gave up his arm. I don't think it would be anything like that. Yeah. I don't think it would be anything like that. That would be very silly. That would be a very, in my opinion, that would be a very silly retcon. If they go back to the first couple chapters when Shanks loses his arm for Luffy, and actually you find out, well, in the second before he did that, after he used Conqueror's haki, he actually imbued his arm with haki and infused it in an item and then gave it to Luffy that's going to show up in the final arc. I don't think I would love that. But then again, some people might, but probably would not be me. Maybe in the verse, all the pirate stereotypes are coming from Joy Boy. I mean, that would be interesting. Yeah, if like all the traditional things that you come to expect from a pirate, losing their arms, losing their legs, the eye patches, all that stuff that originates from Joy Boy. That would be really cool. I like the idea that Joy Boy would be the most classic looking pirate in all of One Piece. That would be great. I really like that idea. Madness super chatted and said, hello, about Kuma, do you think he's going to somehow get his memories back later down the line? And if so, would you like that as an ending for him? Completely honest, with Kuma, I feel like he's already had his moment. He got to see his daughter as Nika. He got to see his daughter free. And he got to see this generation's version of Nika with Luffy. And we got his full flashback. I mean, I would love it if he got his memories back and was able to live a nice, happy life with Bonnie at the end of everything. But I don't necessarily think that's what's going to happen. As much as I would like that, I think he absolutely deserves a happy ending. I would like to see Kuma get a happy ending. But with how Oda wrote Kuma's story, it does feel like he's primed for a final sacrifice in some form at some point at the story. Yeah. I really thought that was going to be the end of Egghead. That seems to not necessarily be the case. Maybe they are able to give his memories back once he rejoins with the Revolutionary Army with Bonnie at the end of all of this. That would be cool. But yeah, I mean, I would be happy for him to be alive and to be normal again after everything. I think he's been through a lot. It wouldn't bother me that he got his memories back by the revolutionaries or whatever, because he's gone through a lot. You know, he deserves to be happy. I like Kuma. Maybe Lilith can fix him. Sure. Yeah, I'd like that. All Joy Boy needs now is a parrot. That would be cool if he has a pet parrot. Maybe his parrot's in the bird that's on the top of that pillar, or the real poneglyph or whatever he's sitting on in here. That'd be neat. I'd like that. That would be cool. Excuse me. Zindrome donated and said, going back to the theory of the Gorosei being directly from Emu, maybe that's why Emu felt the haki? Oh, you mean talking about how they might all potentially be parts of him, like it's a pain situation? Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's kind of what we touched on a little bit earlier. But I agree with that, Zindrome. I could see that being an explanation, for sure. Clax said, though I don't think the haki reached Emu, is it possible he sensed the residual Joy Boy haki from the Gorosei? The heartbeat pounding makes me think he sensed something, at least. Sure. Yeah, again, that is a very likely explanation. It could have been any of that. I mean, at the end of the day, Emu was affected by what happened at the end of Egghead. Whether it was the haki, whether it was the Gorosei getting blown back, whether it was remembering Joy Boy. I think that's kind of how you know this is a bit of a slow chapter this week, because we've got lots of people theorizing on one panel that realistically, it doesn't matter what the explanation is. It's just meant to show, uh-oh, Emu's nervous, Joy Boy's a-coming, Nika's a-coming, things are happening at the end of all of this, you know. But yeah, that could very well be an explanation, for sure. And Gummy said, was anyone else reminded of the Witheria wind knot? Yep. We talked about that earlier during the stream. Yes, indeed. I'm going to be completely honest, though. Like I said earlier in this reaction, I completely forgot about that. Completely. I did not know that about the Witheria wind knot at all. I just straight up did not remember that at all. So I'm glad that you guys told me about that, because I really did not remember in the slightest. Yeah. Why are people repeating the same stuff? Well, I mean, at this point, I think we've kind of wrapped up everything that there was to talk about in this chapter, I think. Once we're getting repeats of the same thing over again, I'm sure it's that people were coming into the stream late or something, and that's it. But yeah, I do feel like we're kind of beating a dead horse now with a lot of the theories and everything. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. Greatly appreciate it. I know a lot of people came in late, but thankfully, the VOD for the stream will be uploaded. You guys can check it out a little bit later. Pretty good chapter. We're going on break, and then there's going to be another one during Pokemon Worlds. I do wish there would have been at least one more major reveal in this chapter. I do think there's fun speculation to come from the silhouette of Joy Boy. And it does seem like we are at the end of Egghead now. And I would totally believe if that was like the last chapter, and then moving forward, we're getting stuff in Elbaf. But yeah, I don't know. Overall, pretty good chapter. Is there going to be a live reaction to Galaxy Impact? You mean in the anime? The answer is no. The answer is no. That episode has already ended. I was out of town, and so there's not going to be a reaction to that one. No. There will be to some upcoming episodes once I'm free on Saturdays, but there probably won't be. Make sure to take care of your throat and drink some water with your allergies. Absolutely. Roberto also said, did you notice the note that Oda wrote for the end of My Hero? I didn't see his note. Obviously, I saw the opening page with Smoker as a callback to Horikoshi's SBS, but I didn't see his note. Let's see. Let's see this. Oda note for the end of My Hero. What did he write? Where is this? Now you can go play Pokemon Go as much as you want? Okay. I didn't realize that Horikoshi plays Pokemon Go. That's cool. I do think it was really cute, like I said, that he did the Smoker picture as a little tribute. That was very nice. By the way, when does the next Boruto chapter? The 19th? I think it is the day after we do the new One Piece chapter. So I'll be around for that. I'll make sure to do my live reaction for that. Yeah. Did you also see the sky split when the haki got released, Roger? Yeah. I mean, on page... what is that, page 11? Yeah. You mean when the rope got untied and you could see the sky splitting? I mean, again, that's not a huge surprise to me. I feel like at that point, when you get really strong clashes of Conqueror's haki, you see the sky splitting in One Piece. We've seen that time and time again. So, yeah, not really a huge surprise there as well. You know, it's cool to see these things happening, but, yeah, overall, decent chapter. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap this sucker up. Thank you once again, everyone, for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. I'll be back in 2 weeks, obviously, with my live reaction to the next chapter. Thank you once again to all the members, all the people who donated. Greatly appreciate it. And I know I'm happy to have the streams back to as they usually were, though I'll probably have to chop out that little bit where I was muted at the very beginning. That was just a technical difficulty. But again, I'm glad you didn't hear that because I sneezed right in the very beginning of that, so that was good. All right, take care, everybody. Have a lovely Sunday. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody. Okay.